Hi, welcome you all to the last week of Food Mood. As you know, this course was all about understanding how different colors of food and varieties of food not only change our physical state but also our emotional and mental well-being. We also learned during this course what are the right lifestyle changes to make, which can make us to lead a holistic lifestyle and also make us lasting changes, including reversing our chronic diseases. In this module, we are going to cover about meal planning, about water, about how to sustain the motivation, because this journey is not only about changing food habits, but it is also about changing our behavioral aspects. So how do we sustain the motivation? We are also going to learn about some FAQs and commonly known myths in the diet world, or the nutrition world, if I may say. So let's get started. Coming to meal planning. So here are some top 10 breakfast options, including vegetarian as well as non-vegetarian, so that you can have a well-balanced meal. Now, if you're a person who likes to have eggs in the morning, then if you're making your scrambled eggs or omelette or any form of egg, you can always saute your egg with vegetables. Now, this can be cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cabbage, or it can be spinach, it can be mushrooms, any form of vegetables that you like, in addition to the onions and tomatoes that you typically add to the omelette. Uh, for having the bread, always remember that you're not going to go for a white bread, but instead you're going to replace it with either brown bread, or you have other options such as multigrain bread, oatmeal bread, etc. etc. For vegetarian options, you can make overnight soaked oats or overnight soaked chia seeds, and you can make parfaits out of that. Now here, if you are a sweet tooth, you can add honey to it. You can also add some dates to it. Always remember, whenever you are consuming dried fruits or nuts, you should consume them in moderation. You can also add banana to it. So do not believe that, if you are on a weight loss journey, then you should not be having bananas. Bananas are very, very mineral rich, potassium rich, and they're also going to keep you full for a longer time. You can also add a dash of cinnamon to these parfaits, because cinnamon is very good herb for regulating your sugar levels. So yes, if you like South Indian options, you can have poha, you can have breakfast smoothies. You can also have, if you like paranthas, you can have any sort of stuffed vegetable paranthas, but remember to make them without oil. Now let's try to cover some of the lunch options. Again, if you are looking at non-vegetarian options, you can look for Thai chicken wraps. You can also add some veggies to it. You can have penne pasta with chicken and lemon. Now talking about vegetarian options, you can have a paneer salad sandwich with pesto. Pesto is again a brilliant way, homemade pesto is again a brilliant way of adding greens to your sandwiches. You can have brown rice with rajma. The more you, if so proteins can be had in terms of rajma, lentils, legumes. So try to add them into your diet whenever you are, whether it is lunchtime or dinner time. Try not to mix a lot of proteins. Try to have one form of protein per meal. You can also have stir-fried vegetables. You can have herby potato and green bean salads. You can have avocado toast, paneer panini, Greek salads. You can also have Indian thali with, a variety of raita, vegetables, and beans and legumes. So as long as you are eating natural foods, whole foods, you really don't need to do a lot of portion control. It's only when we start ordering outside or we are having too much of processed food that we need to be very, very aware of our portion controls. As you would have seen in the previous presentations, how one full plate of steamed vegetables is 200 calories and half a donut also is 200 calories, and so is 2 tablespoons of oil. So remember that whenever you're making your breakfast, lunch or dinner options, try to use as less oil as possible. And how to replace that oil, that has been covered in the previous presentations. You can always refer to them for all the hacks to reducing your oil consumption. Coming to snack options, again, a lot of snack options. You can have fruit, like blindly, any seasonal fruits you can have for your snacks without thinking whether it's mango, guava, banana, doesn't matter. You can have any fruit that you like. You can have bread with peanut butter. Again, for the bread, remember to go for browns, oatmeal, multigrain instead of white refined breads. You can have yogurt. Greek yogurt is the best. You can add some nuts to it. If you want, you can add some honey to it, agave syrup, and so many natural sweeteners are there. You can have salad, fusion salads. Sprouts is again very, very protein rich, keeps you full for a longer time, and thereby will also reduce your calorie consumption at the dinner time if you're having it in the evenings. Carrots with hummus dip or cucumber with hummus dip, any vegetable that you like with hummus dips is again very good. Any fruit, protein shake, try to have it with water. If you don't like that, you can have it with alternate milk instead of the cow's milk, because we really don't need to consume milk products. It's better to go for alternate milk such as almond milk, soya milk, coconut milk. There are a lot of varieties these days which are available. Vegetable juice, again, instead of fruit juice, if you can have vegetable juice, that is much more healthier choice. You can also have coconut water with chia seeds. These are some of the snack options for the evening, or even before lunch if you like to have, depending on how many snacks you're consuming during the day. Coming to dinner options, dinner ideally you should keep it light, because as we covered in our previous presentations that our body follows a circadian rhythm, and because of that, as we move towards the sunset, our metabolism also tends to slow down. And so the lighter we keep for the dinner options, the better it is. So some of the options here are South Indian dishes are always good, light, and you can always use them for your dinner, such as oats chila, idli sambar, vermicelli sambar. You can have oatmeals or any millets sorted with veggies again. You can have cucumber tomato sandwich again with brown bread. You can have potato leek soup or any vegetable soup, beetroot soup. You can have mushroom and carrot soup, anything that you like. Greek salads, quinoa salads. All of these you can have during the dinner option. If you feel that this is not sufficient, you can also add a fruit to it. Now smoothies, again, sometimes you are craving for something sweet, or like you want to go out and have some dessert. Instead, if you are a person who likes smoothies, then it's an easy way to do that is add curd or any alternate milk. Alternate milk means not cow's milk, but you can use any nut milks such as almond, soya, coconut, oats. A lot of options available. Add some either vegetables or fruits to it. If you're using fruits, you can also use curd instead of the milk. Add some chia seeds, add protein powder if you like, and some ice, and blend it well, and you'll have a nice mineral rich smoothie which will also be very filling and includes fiber as well. Coming to water. Now, many of you would know that our body is 70% water, and water is a very important integral aspect of the nutrition that we consume. Yes, water is responsible for energizing our body. Even though it has 0 calories, it still provides energy to our system. So now it's important to understand what is the good water, what is the bad water, and how should we be consuming it. So the best way to have water is our plain normal water, preferably in warm condition. If not possible, then at least normal temperature, and the last preference is cold water. So you should be replenishing your system frequently with pure water to help the body function properly. And this is the best thing that you can do to detoxify your body. Coconut water is another very good ingredient. It is light, it is low in calories, it is almost fat-free. It is also sweet, but does not contain as much sugar as would other fruit juices. It's an alkaline food and also helps your body in correcting the cumulative effects of acid-producing foods in your system. Tea and coffee, they are acidic in nature, but they are good in moderation. They also have antioxidant properties. They keep you alert during the day. Try to avoid tea and coffee in the evening times. But also, when you're having your teas and coffees, try to keep sweeteners and creamers in moderation. If you can have your tea or coffee with alternate milks, nothing like that. That's always the best choice. Herbal teas are very, very good ways of having the water, especially for people who don't like the taste of plain water. These are non-calorific brews which you can make at home using the herbs in the kitchen. Now, a lot of detoxification recipes I had covered in the previous weeks of this course. You can refer to them again. And some of the examples here is like Tulsi tea. It is great for cleansing. If you're having herbal teas throughout the day, there are a lot of options now available like green tea or jeera tea, mint tea, peppermint, basil tea, moringa tea, so on and so forth. So you can make it at your own home. You don't need to spend a lot of money in trying to make them. You just have to take the herb, just brew it in the water for some time, and you can have it, you can enjoy it. Juiced vegetables. Again, it's a very good way of incorporating greens and giving you, providing you minerals and vitamins. Now let's talk about bad forms of water. So wine. Now there is a lot of research which has shown that red wine is really good for the heart. But what we have to keep in mind is that because it is good for the heart, it has a certain compound which is good for the heart health. It does not mean that we start drinking wine. Now it is, please remember, this is in comparison to the other stronger liquors which are available in the market. So, and this is in no way to say that, you know, a person should start having wine, because they are again very calorie dense. Also, once you start having wine, you also lose track of what you are eating, and it follows on with a lot of binge eating post having the wine. Same is the case for the beer as well. Now, fruit juice. 100% juice is natural, but it also has all sorts of ingredients in it. It has a lot of preservatives to it, especially the packaged fruit juice. Now, if you're talking about fresh fruit juice, while that is better than having a packaged fruit juice, but still it is nothing compared to having a whole fruit as such, because the whole fruit comes along with a combination of water, fiber and sugar, whereas fruit juice is only water and sugar, and it is going to lead to sugar spikes in your system. Energy drinks. Now, energy drinks might give you a very temporary high by giving you a coffee rush or a caffeine rush or a sugar rush, but it is going to be followed by as much of a low as you had the high, and then you're going to crave more for junk food, processed food. So please stay away from any kind of energy drinks. Now, the worst forms of water. Now, the number one cause of obesity in the world is soft drinks. Now this quietly comes and sits on your table. It goes along with your mac chicken happy meal, or when you're having your dinner outside, it is quietly sitting around with your plate, and you know, this is the worst form of water that you can have. It is loaded with empty calories. It has no nutritional value on the body, and plus there are a lot of side effects of having soft drinks. And the diet sodas, the so-called zero calorie drinks, are even worse, because aspartame is doing much more damage to your kidney than is normal sugar. So kindly avoid all forms of soft drinks. Instead, try to replace it with sparkling water. Talking about coffee house drinks, these cappuccinos and frappuccinos and milkshakes which you get in coffee houses, this is nothing but it's like a dessert. Okay, one big mug of a cold coffee which is made at these coffee houses is going to have 400-500 calories, which is equal to the calories in one meal. So next time you are opting for something like this, now it might give you a sugar rush, you will feel very good, but please remember that this is very, very calorie dense desserts that you are having, because they add a lot of ice cream to them. Instead, you can opt for, if you like them so much, you can opt for lattes, iced lattes with alternate milks. Now, this will not have ice cream, this will not have sweeteners. At the same time, it will satisfy your cravings for having that yummy frappuccinos. Now, cocktails. Alcohol is unhealthy again, as we have seen, and cocktails even more so, because it has added all those sugary syrups and everything, and again it is very calorie dense for your system. Sports drink, if you need energy during your workout, water is the best bet. You can also consume lemon water, you can add honey to it, you can add whatever infusion you want to it, but you don't need to go for specifically these highly priced sports drinks. They are absolutely there are no true claims in that. Coming to milkshakes, milkshakes outside are not milkshakes. They are actually blended ice creams, and one glass of milkshake is going to have 500 calories, which is again equal to having one meal. So please choose the foods that you order wisely, especially when you are eating outside. Now, some of the best practices for water, and why am I covering that? Actually, it is said that water is the most important element out of the 5 elements that occur in the nature, especially for our physiology. Water has a very good memory. There has been studies which have shown that depending on the environment, depending how we spoke to the water, how we bless the water contains a certain memory, and it has the capability to either create a lot of positive energy or create a lot of negative trauma, depending on how it has been treated. So, what are some of the best practices that we should keep in mind if we are on a holistic lifestyle journey? Number one, avoid water storage in plastics. Now for that, like you must have seen these water barrels which are delivered to your home. They are stored in the sunlight. The plastic is reacting with the water, and this is the water that we are microbleeding of the plastic happens, and this is the water that we are consuming on a daily basis. This is carcinogenic, and this should be avoided at all costs. Instead, what can we do? How do we store our water? So now, the way the water is treated, a lot of people have RO in their houses these days. Now, there is so the RO water that we get in our houses is demineralized. Now, if we start storing it in copper bottles or clay earthen pots, then that's a very beautiful way of remineralizing the water to some extent. Glass is another way in which you can store the water without contaminating it. So if you're using your water bottles, please make sure they are either of copper, clay, glass or steel instead of plastic water bottles, even for your kids to school. Now they might be slightly heavier, but it is totally worth getting them into the habit of using steel water bottles instead of plastic. They have a much longer life as well. Now, RO water that we get at home is demineralized. So according to the regulations, if the TDS in the water is less than 300, it is potable water fit for drinking. But in case of RO, it is like over processing of the water where the TDS would be around 20-30 levels. While a lot of companies, water companies are claiming that it is the most pure form of water that you can have, actually demineralizing the water to such an extent is not a good healthy practice for our system. So you, if possible, try to move away from RO water. If you're using RO water, then store it either in copper or clay earthen pots. If you are in a place where you can check your tap water for the TDS, and if it is close to 500-600 range, then all you need is either a UV filter or a nano filter to get rid of the microorganisms. And as long as your TDS is less than 300 and it is treated for microorganisms, it is safe to consume that water without any treatment. For people who do not like the taste of water and have an issue with the consumption of water, you can always infuse your water with herbs or fruits. A lot of ideas about this one were covered in some of my previous slides, and like for example, if you add a bit of an orange slice in it, or cinnamon, or depending on whether you like more nutty earthy kind of notes, or do you like more fruity citrusy kind of notes, if you can add lemon and mint, orange and mint, or if you like nutty herby kind of water, then you can add anise seeds, or you can use cinnamon sticks. So there are a lot of tulsi leaves also you can add. So there are a lot of options that you have to add to your water, infuse your water, and that gives a little flavor to the whole water and tastes much more better, and as a result your water consumption will go up. Now having whether water should be consumed cold, warm or normal. So having a warm glass is always the best thing in the morning. If even better, if you can add a pinch of turmeric or the long pepper, black pepper, this will help in cleansing your system. If not, then even having a normal warm glass of water is good enough. Even if you have it throughout the day, it is going to aid your metabolism. So these are some best practices about the water, and water is to be taken seriously. We do not think so much about water when we talk about diet or about food, but actually 70% of us is water, which says a lot about how much important it is in our food system. So, as throughout the journey of this course, we have realized that food is just not about food. It is also a lot of mental and emotional journey, because we are not only challenging here our eating habits, we are also challenging our beliefs. And what are these belief systems? Let's try and see. So belief system is something that, it is my belief because I have grown up in a certain society, in a certain social circle, a certain family with certain set of friends or schooling. So that my environment has shaped my belief system, and that is what I believe is true. Right now, some of the examples here which I might tell you is related to food here, since we are talking only about food. Some of the examples here are like keto diet is the only way to lose weight, or oh, I can never lose weight as most of my family members are in the obese category, or third, oh, I always give up, oh, I tried in the past and nothing has worked, so nothing is going to work for me. So these are some of the belief systems, that these are some statements which have become my beliefs over a period of time, and which challenge me, which stop me from being on this journey of holistic living. Right? So now for you, the task is to identify one or two belief systems which you think have acted like a roadblock in you trying to achieve your goals on the lifestyle, on a healthy lifestyle. And that is something that you should think about. It's important to understand, because we will also see what we're going to do with this belief going forward. So step one is to first identify the belief and try to challenge it. So for example, in my case, one of the beliefs was that I have a family history of diabetes. My mother had diabetes, so eventually I'm going to get diabetes. So this was my strong belief system, and I had surrendered to it. So now, what is step number two? Once you have understood that, okay, this is my belief which is stopping me from being on a holistic lifestyle journey, then the step number two is you are going to do your research. Now, when I say you are going to do your research, we are not only going to go on the internet and search, because it's also important to understand what is the source of your information. Is it even credible? Today, if I go on the internet and type headache is caused because of cancer, or headache causes cancer, I'm going to get 1,000 articles which will be supporting that belief. If I say headaches do not cause cancer, I'm going to get another 1,000 articles which are going to support that belief. So it's not only about researching that, okay, oh, so many articles are saying like this, then that should be true. No, here we are going to question, we are going to challenge as to what is the source, and we are only going to go to credible sources for the kind of information that we are looking for, right? So for example, in my case, when I was collecting this information, one very important piece that I came across was that research shows that 30% of genetic behavior and 70% is determined by your lifestyle, your environment, and the choices that you make. So this was one powerful piece of information which helped me to challenge my belief. Right? So in your case, depending on your belief, you are going to do some research, thoda to, like, little bit homework we'll have to do. So depending on what is your belief system, you're going to do some research about how to challenge that belief, and is it really true? Is it really coming from credible resources? Right? So, and then what is the next step? Once we have found that, okay, this belief can be challenged, how it can be challenged. For example, in my case, it was 70% was impacted by lifestyle choices. So what did I have to do? For 1 month, I tried to change my lifestyle choices, right? For 1 month, you're going to do a pilot by challenging that belief, and you're going to see what is the progress. Is there any progress? Is it really helping you? And this is not always only weight loss. It can be many things, like for example, your allergies have reduced, you feel more energetic, or you become an early riser, or you suddenly feeling much more positive, or your digestion has improved. So there can be many subtle ways of seeing that your body is really improving. Weight loss is only just one parameter, but that is not the only parameter, right? So you might want to say that maybe your skin condition is improving, maybe your face is glowing, maybe you're consuming more water. So there might be subtle changes which have happened in your body, and you should try to make yourself aware of those changes. Is it really progressing in a positive direction? And that's what is important, right? So yeah, this is the challenging the belief system, so that we are able to sustain ourselves on this journey of a lifestyle change. Now, motivation, the more intrinsic, the more it is coming from inside us, the better it is, because external motivation is not very lasting in its nature. And how can we make that happen? So some of the ways here is: one, find your inspiration. It might be a person in your life, it might be a celebrity that inspires you, it might be a person around you that you know in your acquaintance, in your social circle, who inspires you. Know your why. Try to understand why it is important for you. Why are you doing this? Is it for your children? Is it for your family? Is it for your health? Who are you doing this for? It's important to know that reason and write it down. Surround yourself with healthy people, because social circle matters a lot. Now this is not a lifestyle change cannot happen in isolation, because this is not, food is very important part of a social circle. We do everything socially with it revolves around food. So social circle also means a lot, right? So if you can surround yourself with the like-minded people, with people who share similar goals like you, it's going to help you last longer on the journey. And also involve the people who want to help you succeed. For example, in your house, now you want to lose weight, but who is doing the cooking? Suppose your maid is doing the cooking, or your mom is doing the cooking, or somebody else in the house, maybe your father is doing the cooking, somebody else is in the house is doing the cooking. And who's ordering the groceries? Maybe somebody else is ordering the groceries. Now it is important for you to understand and even educate them that, okay, this is my journey, this is what I'm trying to do, and this is how you have to help me succeed by being part of the whole solution, right? Because if they are not involved, if they do not know, they will continue to do the same old things, same old habits which they have been doing forever. So it's important to involve the people who want to help you succeed and who are part of the value chain, right? Pick smart goals for you. So instead of saying that, over the 5 years I'm going to look very lean and I'm going to become zero size, no, this is very, very long term. Instead, can you please pick up some smart goals for you? It might be some change, like, there are a lot of goals examples which I had covered in my previous slides. You can refer to them. But it might be very simple, like, okay, 2 servings of fruits in a day. Like, this is a smart goal. It is measurable, smart, trackable, it is actionable, right? And so you can easily, you will know, okay, today I followed it, today I have not followed it, like that. So you don't break the link. The idea here is not to break the links. Okay, so today I had 2 servings of fruits, take. Tomorrow I had 2 servings of fruit, take. For 21 days at least, you're not going to break that link. It is easy to monitor, rather than saying that, okay, I'm going to lose 10 kg straight away. No, that's not going to happen, right? So we might have to break it into smaller goals, smart goals, which is customized to your own need. Now, throughout this course, we have understood that relationship with food is very, very emotional, right? It's not only about hunger and food. It's not hunger and food, it's emotional hunger, right? So for example, there is some event that happened in my life which either upset me or it made me feel very overwhelmed with joy. So what do I want to do? I feel an overwhelming urge to eat. So what do? I eat more than I know I should. So I feel guilty about having eaten so much. Then it makes me feel even further bad. Then I say, okay, ab to ho gaya, now it's done. Now I continue in that virtuous cycle of eating more, feeling bad, eating more, feeling bad, eating more, feeling bad, right? Um, Also in our society, whether you are happy, whether you are sad, associate everything with food. Oh, I'm happy, let's go celebrate. Oh, I'm hormonal, I'm going through my PMS, I'm going to eat a chocolate. Oh, I hate him so much, I'm going to binge on ice cream. Hey, it's my birthday, I'm going to celebrate with my friends, I'm going to eat cupcakes, aaj to banta hai. Oh, today is weekend, today is Monday, oh thank God it's Friday, so on and so forth, right? So we keep on looking for reasons to going and making it everything about food. So there's, you understand the difference between a physical hunger and an emotional hunger, right? Now we are always juggling between the two, and more often than not, it's not the physical hunger that spins us off the track of good lifestyle, but it is the emotional hunger. And how do we know what is what? So if we look at the characteristics of physical hunger, it will usually be when there is a gap between the meals. You will feel some sensation of growling or rumbling in the stomach. You will feel satisfied after you have eaten, and physically you are satisfied. But in case of emotional hunger, it will be all of a sudden, oh, this happened, yes, let's go celebrate, right? Oh, I'm feeling so upset, I need to have an ice cream right now, right? So, and you will crave specific food items, like, oh, whenever I'm sad, I like to have this cold coffee, right? So it's all about craving very, very specific foods. It's also independent of time. It doesn't matter. You might have just finished your lunch, but just because you are having emotional hunger, you will feel like, no, no, I want to have this right now. I need to have this right now, right? And of course, like Swiggy, Zomato, Zindabad, like, they've made our life so easy by saying that, okay, delivery within 10 minutes, delivery within 15 minutes. So they are making it even more easy for us to give into the emotional hunger, right? Always available around us. Nothing, no cooking required, nothing required at all. You name it and you have it, right? So yeah, it's difficult to find those kind of cravings. So it creates a desire to eat despite fullness, and it will not leave. So once you have eaten, you will not feel satisfied. You will feel like eating even more, right? There's no end to it. So that is the so if you are conscious about what hunger pang you are having, is it the physical hunger or is it the emotional hunger, then your approach to handling it can also differ. For example, if it is emotional hunger, can you distract yourself by going out for a walk or having just, a better substitute? Because you know that it's not really, you're not really hungry. It's just that you need to satisfy your emotional cravings. And we are not going to curb cravings. We can either move to healthier substitutes or we can distract ourselves. These are the two things. The more you fight your cravings, the more it is going to come back stronger at you, right? And please remember, do not curb your cravings, but either you move to a healthier substitute at that time or you try to distract yourself. That's the way to. Okay, so now we come to frequently asked questions, and these are the questions which are very, very popular in the nutrition world, and I've just collated them for you. So coming to, can I lose weight without dieting? So here the simple answer is yes, right? So losing weight is a function of calorie in versus calorie out. So if you are able to create a calorie deficit, that is when you will be losing weight. Now you can do this without dieting, you can do this without physical exercise, or without even following a certain particular form of diet and physical exercise combination. So all you have to keep in mind is you should try and identify what is your basal metabolic rate, which is basically the amount of calories that you spend in a day. There are a lot of online tools available to calculate your BMR. As long as your calorie consumption is less than your BMR, you are going to get up in the morning and see that you have lost weight. Yes. The third question, can I lose weight by no carb diet? Yeah. So yes, again the answer is as long as your calorie in is less than calorie out, you will be losing weight. However, it's very important. see, we here are talking about lifestyle changes. We are not talking about fad diets. So ideally it is important to balance all the macronutrients. You can actually lose weight by being on a high carb, high fiber diet as well, but depending on, again, your calorie in should be less than your calorie out. So that's the whole, the basic principle here, right? So you don't need to compromise on carbs. You can have whatever you want as long as the calorie in is less than calories out. And how to do that? The best way is to adding a lot of fiber through vegetables, through fruits, through naturally occurring products, and switching to whites to browns, the complex carbs. Can fruits make me fat? Fruits don't make you fat. Fruits are a very balanced form of food which comes as a combination of water, fiber and sugar. It does not lead to sugar spikes in your body as well. So as long as, unless and until you are a diabetic, you don't need to be careful about what kind of fruits you are having, and they will not make you fat. They reduce your sweet cravings, they reduce your hunger pangs, they are also like your multivitamins. Should I have cheat days? While since we are talking here about lifestyle changes, and it's not something like, you're not going to do a diet for 2 months and then be done with it, because otherwise all the weight is going to come back. We are talking here about the lifestyle changes. So you should have cheat days, because if you want to make it sustainable, then it is important that, like if you have certain cravings, then you have to succumb to those cravings. You have to fulfill them so that you feel like continuing on this journey. My weight keeps coming back. Again, the weight keeps coming back when your calorie in increases as compared to your calorie out. Now there will always be cheat days. You will always notice that after an evening out with friends, you've gone drinking and your weight has come back, but again it will stabilize again. The important thing is, it's okay to slip, but the important part is to keep coming back to it. So even the best of people who are on this journey, they always do slip. They have cheat days, but important is to come back to it and doing it consciously. That's all that matters, right? Can yoga help me lose weight? So now while we compare that, okay, half an hour of yoga is going to burn hardly any calories as compared to half an hour of HIIT training, but yoga is actually the only form of exercise which strengthens your internal organs. It strengthens your digestion system, it strengthens your endocrine system, it strengthens your cardiac system, your lymphatic, it moves your lymphatic system. So if you ask me, yoga helps you lose weight because it improves everything internally. Your breathing improves. Breathing, as we've covered in the previous videos, that breathing is important for faster metabolism. Moving on to lymphatic system happens through yoga, again helps in metabolism. Even when you are doing your spinal twist and everything, your pancreas is stimulated, your stomach is pressed, you get a massage on your stomach, your back is open, your chakras are opening up, right? So all of that happens in a very balanced way. So yoga is one of the most superior forms of exercising as compared to any other form of aerobic and anaerobic exercises. You can actually lose weight just by doing pranayams also, right? So what about family history? So family history, as I've covered in some of the previous slides, that family history is 30%. If you think that I'm going to end up suffering from a chronic disease, please remember that it is 30% genes and 70% is all about your environment, how you are responding to the stimuli, what kind of lifestyle choices you are making. So even if you have a not so good family history, doesn't matter, you can still avoid those diseases. You still don't need to take any single medicine as long you're making the lifestyle changes of, number one, plant-based eating, reducing the animal protein consumption, not more than 20-30% of your calorie intake, and some moderate form of exercise to keep your systems moving, yoga being one of the best forms. What is most important for healthy lifestyle? I've already covered that. Most important is eating natural foods which grow on plants, not the ones which are made in the plants, right? Reduce your dependence on tamasic food, which is the animal proteins, as much as possible. I'm not propagating vegetarian food here, but the idea is that you should restrict it to 20 to 30% because a lot of allergies, a lot of cholesterol deposition happens because of animal protein consumption. And number three, some moderate form of exercise, especially after dinner time. If you can have 30 minutes of walk, that is the best. If you can do yoga, nothing like that. Yeah. And with this, we come to the end of it. And next steps are yours, where you are going to choose your goals. It should be a SMART goal. If you want to see some examples of the goals, you can refer to my previous videos. Once you have chosen a goal for yourself, keep a tracker and try to not break the chain at least for 21 days and monitor your progress after 21 days, after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Monitor your progress and see whether any subtle changes are happening in your life. If you have any specific queries, you can always reach out to the email given to me and through my website. Details are also below in the description. And thank you so much. Okay.